This is day 8 of the Minimal March Challenge. One sketchbook, one palette, 10 minutes, and zero pressure. I love cupcakes, so obviously today we are painting one. We are keeping it super simple and quick because, yes, you guessed it, we still have the 10-minute rule. We'll start with the basic sketch of the cupcake, just making sure that the left and right sides are nicely aligned. Nothing complicated, just a clean, simple pencil sketch outlining to get the shape right. Start with the basic line structure and then slowly and gradually we start giving the shape of the cupcake around the edges, and of course we are going to add that cream on the top and probably a cherry with that. And by the way, if you are enjoying this video and the series so far, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because there are many more fun videos coming up as part of this Minimal March challenge, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Once the top part is done and I'm happy with how it has turned out, I will add some final touches to the bottom part, a little more detailing just to make it look more realistic and interesting. Once I'm happy with the basic sketching, we'll jump straight into watercolor part and bring this little cupcake to life. To start painting, I'm using yellow ochre as the base color for the lower part, the cake itself. I'm just laying down a nice, simple, even wash to keep it smooth and simple. While the base layer is slightly wet, I go in with some darker highlights. For that, I mix tiny bit of burnt sienna to this existing yellow ochre to get a warmer, deeper shade. Then I gently add these shadows, mainly around the edges of the cupcake and a little towards the bottom, just to give it some depth and make it look a bit more realistic and, of course, delicious. To add a bit more depth, I'm going in with another layer of darker burnt sienna right under the cream. This helps create that shadow effect where the cream naturally blocks the light from hitting the cake. It's a small detail, but it really makes the cupcake look more realistic and dimensional, like the cream is actually sitting on top instead of just floating there. Once the base of the cupcake is done, I let it dry for a bit before moving on to the top, that creamy, swirly goodness. For the cream, I initially picked red carmine, but it felt a little too dark. So I toned it down by adding a touch of white, making it soft, light pink, almost like a strawberry cream vibe. Start with this lighter pink as the base layer, and then for the shadows and depths, I go back with red carmine directly. It's a slightly cooler red which helps create those nice contrasts and highlights in the cream. By the way, are you following this minimal March challenge? I'd genuinely love to know if you have tried any of the previous artworks, so just check them out. And if you're enjoying this video, it would mean a lot to me if you could just like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the upcoming minimal March creations. Trust me, there's a lot more fun coming your way throughout this March. We are done with the cream part, but what's a cupcake without a cherry on the top? For the cherry, I use vermilion, starting with a lighter base and then building the depth by mixing in tiny bit of burnt sienna for the darker areas. I am leaving a small circle there, which is kind of the light that is being reflected from the surface of the cherry, just to give it a more depth and make it look more realistic. For these darker areas, I am using again the mixture of vermilion and burnt sienna, but in this case, the ratio of vermilion is less as compared to burnt sienna. By slowly layering, these colors really helps bring the cupcake to life. And honestly, it's starting to look good enough to eat, isn't it? Once the top part is done, I come back to the lower cake section, which is nicely dried by now. And this is where we add the final depth. The darkest tones, the shadows, all the areas that sit slightly under or away from the light. For this, again, I'm using a mix of burnt sienna and yellow ochre. But this time, I'm using more burnt sienna to get a deeper shade. The yellow ochre is just there to keep the colors feel warm and give it a harmonious look, and not to make it too muddy. I gently add these darker tones along the bottom edge and sides just to give the cupcake a bit more structural and make it look like three-dimensional. Adding the details on the lower part where the cupcake is covered with the paper, I'm adding those deeper tones here to just give a three-dimensional look, and the shadows which are probably caused by the outer layer of paper. And once the cupcake is pretty much done, there's just one last step, adding a subtle shadow to ground. For that, I mix a tiny bit of blue in my browns to create a soft, neutralish grayish tone. It's a slightly bluish, slightly brown, basically that perfect muted shade that works really well for shadows. I gently add this around the base of the cupcake, keeping it soft and minimal so it doesn't overpower the illustration. We go one shade darker for the closest edges of the cupcake just to create more interest in shadows, and just a final touch at the background. And that's it, we are done with today's artwork. One more step closer to filling the sketchbook and completing our minimal March challenge. I hope you like this one. And that's it for day 8. Today's video is officially done. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed painting it. And if you're liking my challenge, please do not subscribe to this channel and definitely don't like this video. You must not. But if you accidentally do, I'll see you with video for day 9 with some more creative and fun painting processes. See you on the other side. Bye bye.